You know, not to dogpile, hardly the first person to talk about this, but a guy called very small content creator, you've probably not heard of him, Asmongold, said some silly stuff that we should probably take a look at. You know, the problem that I'm having here is that I actually really like Asmongold as a person. I played a lot of World of Warcraft back when I was younger. And he's a streamer, guys. Anyway, I think he's a really nice and very kind person. Unfortunately, he's also a conservative, which means that he's kind of like legally obligated to have bad takes now and again. So let's just. Do you see people in chat like people not knowing Asmongold? Yeah, I know, I know. Not a lot of Twitch gamers in my community, as it so happens. I know, Bablado. Hold on, we have all the videos. All right, so Asmongold has stuff to say about Andrew Tate getting arrested.
Brothers. What's the probability that the government wants to frame the Tate brothers? I don't know, probably 50%. I think it's pretty high. Like, the government frames people all the time. Like, if we've seen anything out of, like, any of the leaks from, you know, the way that they tried to, you know, f with Martin Luther King and people like that, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. What's that meme? The system fears this, and it's like Andrew Tate and MLK, like, wrapping their arms around each other's shoulders.
The government f with people. Yeah. It's Romania? Okay, so...
Okay, so... Yeah, he said it was lower afterwards. Guys, we have Asmongold fans in chat. It's an unbelievably stupid thing to say, obviously. You know, MLK was a civil rights protester. You know, the FBI director told him to kill himself. He was protesting against government, you know, like state-mandated segregation. Andrew Tate just sits in his mansion and buys cars. Probably pays a lot of sales tax when he buys them too. I especially like the idea that like you would need to frame Andrew Tate for human trafficking or rape or whatever when like every Andrew Tate segment is him leaning into the mic and going, yeah, I love raping women. I love to kidnap women. I love beating women to death. I love all these things. My life has no meaning outside of like beating, kidnapping, and raping women. That's literally like 100% my shit, you know? And that's like every single Andrew Tate bit. So I don't know how how hard you'd have to frame him for that. Can you imagine a person more likely to get convicted on sex trafficking? No, I'm really asking. Like, can you imagine a person for whom that would be more on brand? I genuinely can't. He has signaled this as clearly as I imagine you can. Epstein, I would genuinely say that Epstein did not project the image of somebody who would sex traffic as much as Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate practically has a sandwich board over his neck saying, I think women are subhuman and I use them for my business and personal pleasure. Like, you know, I don't think Epstein had the sandwich board around his neck. He might have, though. It's his brand. He sells himself on social media for that. Yeah, Epstein wasn't on Twitter, like, bragging about how he thinks women are subhuman. Maybe he was. If he was, I don't remember it. Either way, we have more. Stop highlighting that. Stop. Thank you. Oh my God.
Because system... not trolling, but number one, arrested because system is corrupt, go free because system is corrupt. This just seems like an awkward combination of arguments. No, I think that's a very, very good argument. I think that it even reinforces the part of the argument that people would disagree with. Yes. He could get put in jail and he could have been arrested because it's like some kind of fucking corruption shit. Or
I don't understand what would be driving Asmongold to say that the arrest. Okay, so like again, to be clear, not only is there like a record of investigation into the Tate brothers for this kind of thing, they have literally like bragged about grooming women into being their like call girl sex slaves to fleece money out of guys that they took a cut from. He literally talked about fleeing to Romania because the rape laws were less tight there. Like, again, I cannot fathom a pair of people who have more clearly projected their... And that, you know what? Those things do not actually mean that they're guilty of sex trafficking. You know, you still have to prove the case. But, oh my God, in terms of like the last arrests that I would assign to corruption, and also what corruption, by the way, like why would the Romanian government just randomly want to do this? You know, they're not like civil rights heroes. Like what? They're not like anti-government partisans. What are they doing to make themselves enemies of the Romanian government? You know, what corruption? What are we talking about? Woke Romania?
Or he could go free because it's also corruption. I think it's actually extremely consistent whenever you really think about it. Well, if you ask him, but he's guilty. I mean, I don't. How do you know that? I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. How do you know that?
I think you have a trial on that. I think you do a trial. Vaush, I've seen Asmon watching Channel 5. His chat is disastrous. They agree with conservatives like 70% of the time. Even Asmon is usually wrong. He's nowhere near his chat. Well, Asmongold, I think, is the largest conservative on Twitch, apart from the resident Andrew Tate simp, Aiden Ross. But Aiden Ross is also, like, violently repellent to people who are older than 11. So I think the older conservatives, or like teen conservatives, might pile in on Asmongold's channel, because when he talks politics, like, he has the centrist bent often, but centrism basically is conservatism in like function. When you see it play out online, it's like, here's an obvious instance where the conservative is wrong. Let me see both sides to this. You know, it always plays out that way. It's just not as cool to admit you're like conservative leaning, I guess.
You can't say he's guilty until if you don't even know what the charges are. Yeah, well, people don't like Andrew Tate, so it makes sense.
True. Vaush in chat, Asmon said he's conservative or something? I don't have like a mental backlog of everything he said. I thought it's been well known for like years that Asmongold is pretty conservative leaning, at least relative to the Twitch space. Is that new? I'm pretty sure that's, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's, well, dude used to have a MAGA hat in his background all the time. Well, that's probably not good. You know, whatever. Doesn't change the takes. Anyway, full disclosure. He admitted he was wrong. Okay, we're going full arc.
I was talking, so earlier at the stream, I was talking about there were a lot of people who were not happy that I compared the Andrew Tate thing. I used like an example of the government framing somebody as like MLK, right, Mark?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine why people would be upset by that.
Martin Luther King. And I used that example, and I said that chances of the government framing him were like 50%. Both of these two things were stupid to say, and they're not true.
There we go.
And people said this a bunch of times. Everybody said it was fucking stupid. And I fucking hate having to go on and say that I was wrong. I fucking hate it. I almost never do it. I will find little ways how I wasn't wrong and how it was different. But it was stupid. I shouldn't have said it. That's all there is to it.
I do like Asmon a lot. I do. Yeah, I do like his notepad where he's like, reasons for presumed guilt. Da-da-da-da-da. Reasons against May. You know, it's good. I do like him, though. I can't stay mad. Asmongold said he's going to make a ton of money farming Andrew Tate drama. Okay, I have not seen this clip.
But I'm very thankful for this. This is going to be content for me for the next probably 2 weeks.
Wait, to be fair, by the way, you guys realize I'm also going to farm a bunch of money off Andrew Tate drama, right? Like, obviously, it's one of the main things going on right now in internet politics. So, you know, that's not really an impugning of him here. I'm currently doing it.
I'm sure Andrew Tate, with as much of an egomaniac as he is, he'll have the trial televised. We'll be waking up at 8 in the morning every day to watch this. We are going to be farming these guys in or outside of prison, no matter what.
Hell yeah.
I am super excited for it. All of the videos about it are going to be monetized. We're going to make a ton of money off of this.
Hell yeah.
It's just great. I mean, we're entering a new golden age. I'm so happy. So yeah, I don't really give a fuck about this either way. It doesn't matter to me either way.
Got it. I want to be clear. Even though the Taters have like presented themselves as like the most likely people to do sex trafficking in every possible way, that's not itself legal guilt. Like, that does not itself mean that they're guilty. This isn't a statement of whether or not they are guilty. They could get exonerated. You know, I can't see the future. It's just like all the people leaping to scream this is corruption, which, of course, by the way, every conservative has. Like, every single conservative on social media has immediately jumped to saying that it's corruption. This is the Matrix coming after him. He's like spoken the truth. I swear to God, you could have gotten a conservative movement to like wholeheartedly back Epstein if only 1 month before getting arrested he'd done this whole like, I'm standing up against the woke mind virus. If they come after me, it's because they're silencing the dissenters. And then he would have gotten arrested and they wouldn't have cared about anything after that because they do not give a if people get raped or whatever. They don't care. They're conservatives. But it's not a statement on like the actual guilt. It's a statement on like, if you jump to immediately screech like corruption, fake, not real, literally any time, even the most obvious sex trafficking guys get accused of and arrested for sex trafficking, then it's not really about like, you're not really doing the like skepticism or like challenging the government or anything like that. All you're actually doing is leaping to defend your own people, right? It's yet another one of those things where like they adopt the aesthetic of progressive critique in a way that's actually deeply fascist, which is a lot of lefties fell for this with Trump as well, where Trump would like call out the American government, and some lefties were like, dude, yeah, he's calling out. It's like, no, he's not. He's not calling out the American government. He's calling out the liberal democratic institutions in the American government. You know, if we go by this standard, you'll never guess who the loudest critics of the Weimar Republic were, right? Like, don't fall for that. Like, dude, he's anti-establishment. Yeah, the establishment of democracy and liberalism. Dude, liberals suck, bro. Yeah, but did you know there's at least one thing worse than liberalism? It starts with an F. You all know. But like we're gonna keep getting this. They've given him his phone in Romanian jail, so we're getting like Elon Musk tweeted a Matrix meme. You know, I assume that the Wachowski sisters are just like seething over this, which probably is at least partly the point. Twisting an anti-capitalist and like trans narrative into being some kind of weird endorsement of like fascism. Is he going to be tweeting Andrew Tate? Dude, yeah, he's wealthy. Dude, Andrew Tate is like a super wealthy guy in a corrupt country, Romania. Of course, dude, he's rich. I will be surprised if he gets convicted. How often do like multimillionaires get convicted of anything? The Matrix sent their agents. So I guess this means like literally like Greta Thunberg forced the Romanian government to deploy their anti-terrorism unit. I have no idea. Anyway, please, just memes aside, don't fall for this stuff. I know people are falling for this stuff. Please don't fall for this stuff. Come on, you're better than that. Thunberg, not Thunberg? All right. He was also holding a U.S. citizen against her will, so there's a chance he gets extradited to the U.S. I don't know. I don't want to speculate about any of the legal stuff. I don't know anything about like the Romanian legal system. Anything I say would just be a guess, basically. So Matrix is thinly veiled JQ, right? I mean, it is the same. Yeah, the Matrix, the deep state, all like the blue pill, all these things refer to the exact same basic idea, which is like you are cucked by progressive liberal democracy, and the only way to wake up is to do fascism. It's basically the same thing every time. Though I do think it's most funny in the case of Andrew Tate, because they keep using these like Matrix allegories when Andrew Tate's literal explicit recommendation to men is that they stop taking pleasure from anything and dedicate their lives to buying expensive stuff that advertisers recommend to them to impress other men. That is, without exaggeration, in its totality, the thing he tells you to consume. That's literally it. Consume. That's it. That is literally like, oh yeah, dude, take the red pill, wake up from the Matrix, and buy these expensive cars. What? At least like people and plenty of people idealize both of these figures, but at least Tyler Durden was explicitly anti-conspicuous consumption, right? Like he lived in a dilapidated manner. He owned basically nothing. The whole point was that ownership was anyway, capitalism, et cetera, et cetera. And he was hot. Critical distinction there. But then you have Andrew Tate with the exact opposite message, which is, yeah, the purpose in your life is to impress other men by buying expensive stuff before they do. And it's like, okay. I really wish I could talk to some Andrew Tate fans or anything, or I could never talk to him himself because he could barely hold it together talking to Hassan while Hassan was lightly ribbing him. A conversation with me would probably make him like I don't know, P? He's very fragile, like, sincerely. But I would love to, like, I need one of these, like, alpha men, one of these big alpha dudes. Yeah, maybe Aiden Ross one day. I want to know, like, I want to talk to them. Can you explain to me, like, how is it manly to not enjoy anything in life and to live to buy things to impress other men? First of all, how is that not fucking gay? First of all. And second of all, like, how is that not the most soy-pilled consumer in the universe? Like, how can you possibly be selling that as waking up from the Matrix? It's not even fragile masculinity or whatever. Like, buying hyper expensive shit to impress other men, that's not even like a traditional masculine archetype. It's not. Like, the idea of being the breadwinner is, but what he's advocating for is closer to like a Zoolander style hyper consumerist metrosexuality, which is fitting because Andrew Tate does kind of look like the stereotype of an early aughts metrosexual with like his dick sucking lips. No, but yeah, no, I agree, Conyer. In terms of like the idea of somebody living to go shopping so they can wear all the nicest clothes and show off to all the boys, that's a pretty feminine attribute. Like, when I think of like, yeah, what, like, if I had to gender the idea of spend your whole life working to buy things to impress other people of your gender in the clout game, I think of that as a feminine thing. Personally, I think of like housewives, mean girls. You know what I mean? Like Stepford, like, you know, who's got the newest Chanel or whatever. That's what I think of. I have no idea how this is being sold as masculinity or as empowering or as waking up from the Matrix or literally anything. And I need one of these super alpha dude bros to explain it to me. See, that $100 that I was just donated by Jacob, you know what that's going towards? Anything fancy? Nope. You think that's going towards anything, you know, fancy new car? What? No, you know what that's going towards? My next $5, or sorry, £5 bag of Pez, which is an austere life necessity that Tyler Durden himself would have approved of.